Hey, it's Thursday Thoughts. I hope you guys had an incredible 4th of July. And I just want to ask you this one question. What is the coach of your soul saying to you at halftime? Yep, I'm doing my prayer walk here. I know school is out, but here at San Alejo Middle, praying for the families impacted by that suicide. Praying for all the young people's faces as I walk by here that I got to see when I was with Fellowship of Christian Athletes during the year. I don't know about you, but I need these promptings here. And looking at this field just kind of reminds me of how pivotal this moment is right here. We've finished, as of July 2nd, the first half of 2022. How was your first half? Was it good? You're successful? You're running into the huddle after the first half and you can't wait for the second half? Or are you kind of limping? Are you hurting? Are you hiding behind the lockers so that you don't have to go out into the second half of 2022? No matter where you're at on that scale, our coach, the savior of our soul, he has something to speak to us. And whether it was good or bad in the first half, this halftime is really important because our coach wants to speak to us and remind us of why we're on that field in the first place. It requires a breather. Whether we're on a high or low or somewhere in between, we need to slow down and stop and hear what our God is saying. And it's not like a red-faced coach gonna attack us for our bad play in the last quarter. He's not going to be having spit come out of his mouth to put us in our place. No, he's got some important words for us, and we need to lean in and pay attention, whether we are happy for our first half or happy that it's over. Our God wants to speak to us, and this is a good time to stop and slow down. I don't know if you had time on 4th of July, or maybe it was just as busy as every other day. But let's take some time this week and ask the Lord, how am I doing, Coach? What do you want me to do in the second half that I didn't do in the first half? Take some time to get away so that when you go back on the field, you're not going back fatigued, but you're going back with a solid vision. It's our movement, as Bob Buford says, from success to significance, where we ask ourselves, is work at the center of my life, or is God at the center of my life? Am I inviting God into my work, into my marriage, into the hard things that I'm facing, the loss that we're seeing around us, the loss that we're seeing in our country, even the shootings going on the 4th of July? It was supposed to be a day of celebration and people losing their lives. This stuff can weigh our hearts down, and we need to hear what our coach is saying to us. It's one of the reasons why we have camps. I'm getting ready. We're about to take 24 youth up from house youth. We're going to join with a bunch of other Foursquare churches all over at Camp Cedar Crest, where I grew up going to Camp Cedar Crest. Cindy grew up going to Camp Cedar Crest, and we're going to be joining. There's going to be like 500 students. Why is camp so important? Well, it's kind of that halftime approach. The reason why we do a huddle before, in the middle, and after a game, because we need to slow down. We need to get off the field and hear what it is that God is saying. And sometimes we need to get out of our normal surroundings, which is why I like to prayer walk as well, because it gets me out of my office, it gets me out of my normal surroundings, and helps me to kind of open my senses to what it is that God's saying. And so I would love your prayers for our camp. I can't wait to share with you next week what it is that God has done through our youth. But I would also like to encourage you, even as our young people are taking time to get away and hear God. We even have a couple youth going to El Salvador, and I'd love for you to be able to pray for them as they minister there in El Salvador on a mission trip. But maybe take some extra time this week during halftime. Take some extra time before or after work. Maybe get up a little bit early, or before going straight home, stop by the beach. Get your journal out, lean in and hear what the Spirit is saying. Get into some solitude, some silence, practice some of those spiritual disciplines we talked about this last Sunday, and really hear what God is saying. If you were to ask me, John, what is God saying to you? I tell you, Hebrews has been rocking my world. We've been reading through that in our Life Journal reading. And Hebrews 3, He says, every day while it's still called today, warn each other to not fall away. Hebrews 2 said, be careful that you do not drift from the faith. I feel like there's an urgency in the Spirit to warn, or the wake-up call that we've been talking about on Sundays. As John Mark Comer puts it, the devil's, his tool is deception. And he plays to our disordered desires of our flesh that become normalized in society around us. It's a wake-up call that you and I would not drift from the faith, but we'd anchor ourselves in God to warn each other. Our brothers and sisters, don't get fatigued. Don't get tired. Don't give up. See, we don't fall away. We drift away. We don't fall away from God overnight. It happens over time. How do we keep that from happening? Well, halftime is one of the ways. Have time every single day. And God will speak to you and show you how to make the second half of 2022 even better than the first. God bless. Can't wait to talk to you next week.